not going to spend too much time on the intro today. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. Welcome to the NYMD podcast. Your host, Kevin Hurt, Brian Sherrard. Um, I woke up this morning. I don't know where I was. I feel like I got transported to another place in time. Does any of this look familiar to you?
Oh man, you're back, Hurt. You're
Yeah,
back.
I'm back. I'm near the studios today. It's the closest I've been in over a year and a half. It's crazy.
Yo, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, over a year and a half. I'm near the NYMD podcast studios. Thoroughly excited to be this close to the studios again, everybody. So, as we can see this weekend, social distancing is basically no longer at these football games. So,
Dude, we
all
gotta
those
talk.
people at Virginia Tech and all these people in Michigan and everybody that had college football games, all those places were packed. When I mean packed, I mean like full capacity.
Yeah,
So like CM Punk on Friday night on Rampage, we're back.
yes,
We're
yes,
back.
that's cool, man. Yeah, it's actually good to see you, man. Up
Yeah,
close in person. We got to work out the technical stuff though, so we can actually be like in the same space. But it's all
yeah,
good.
definitely.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
this is
but
good, man.
yeah, it's good. It was just like, oh, there goes the studio, and it was like just weird. It was like deja vu the way I used to drive to the studio and everything.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's been that long. So, but thank you everybody for joining us here. If any other nature sounds come up, because I'm outside the studio today. But hey, you know what? It's good. It's nice outside. It's beautiful. It's nice and cool. Like low 70s, which is my favorite type of weather anyway.
no, okay.
So we're out here, Justin. But of course, thank you everybody. You could just follow us. We're here on YouTube. You can subscribe and like us. Of course, we always appreciate it. And of course, we're on Facebook, IG, and the Twitter. And of
Yeah.
course, you can download us just the audio version on Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Speaker apps. Wherever you find podcasts, you will find the N1MD podcast. So without further ado, we have 8 trillion things to do. I'm going to try to do 2 shows this week because today would be here till like 11. So with all the stuff we got to talk about. So what first topic you got for us, homie?
Yeah, so let's talk about college football. Football came back this week, So this is our first taste.
Well, it was week 0 was the week before, but
okay.
This is week 1.
Okay, what's week 0? Does like one team play?
It's like it was like 3 or 4 teams played. So yeah, technical difficulties down there. What happened?
Almost copyright infringement. I forgot to turn. I forgot to pause iTunes. After the song played. So Everyday Struggle was about to play, but luckily,
wow,
the volume turned all the way
down. Listen, we just vibed off that.
Yep.
So we didn't want to do the show outside no more. I'm not over here at the studios though.
So, living every day like a hustle.
Exactly. Another day in COVID struggle. All right. Oh man. And when the caravan all the way to Maryland. Anyway, so speaking of
yes.
Speaking of Maryland,
yes,
your team played West Virginia yesterday.
Yeah, dude. Let me tell you, man. First of all, like I texted you, I got excited because I saw those uniforms. Yo, those are the best Maryland football uniforms I've ever seen. Loved them.
I agree. They did have the yellow stripe, so I was cool. But I wanted a tad, just
you were
maybe
right.
Like a little bit more in the pants. But I do love that uniform.
Yeah, it was just really nice from helmet to shoes. I like everything was just really, really nice.
Yeah, it's about having the descriptive terps on the side than the M. Not saying the M isn't cool, but it's just having terps on the side is like not everybody has an M, but Minnesota has an M. You know what I mean? Yeah. Other teams have M's, and just to have that terps on the side,
it's way nicer. It's way nicer, and I think that's an homage to the '80s style Terps uniforms. I think I could be wrong about that, but no, man, it was a good game. The Terps had their white out, so they encouraged everybody to wear white.
Unfortunately, you mean everybody? You mean full capacity?
they did a good job of that, except there were too many West Virginia fans in the crowd. But that's expected. It's not that far away. But bottom line, it was a great game. Maryland, they played pretty well, man.
So it's like going to an Orioles home game. So that's another team.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what happened. No, it was a great game, man. I listened to Tua. Tua was fun to watch. The offense was clicking. They did a good.
Tualia, that's get it right. Tualia, Tagovailoa.
Yeah, you know why? Because I took the Tua and just totally forgot the Tagovailoa part.
Yeah.
Totally forgot. Like his last name was Tua, so that's my fault. My bad. Yeah, so Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
He did great. Even though he's right-handed, his brother's left-handed. I hope you I hear that. They're probably going to get me now. So if everybody hears that in the background. Of course, that only happens when the show starts.
Everyday struggle. You have to have the.
Thank you, yo. Here already. Somebody called out because I'm outside your house doing it. So, and they're getting closer too, by the way. So if y'all see me just running, it's going to be turning to NWA 1,000 miles and running. Okay. Okay, they stopped. Maybe I don't know if they're closer now or not. No, just everybody be prepared.
Oh man.
At any rate,
but no, man, it was a good game. It was a good start. I think they scored 2 of their touchdowns off of long kickoff returns. Otherwise, the defense played okay. They played pretty good. Oh no, but they had like 4 turnovers. I mean, that was. I think they had 2 interceptions. 2 interceptions deep in West Virginia territory. They had a fumble recovery in when in the I think in the red zone or something like that. So the defense was pretty good. The offense was great. Tualia had 3 touchdowns. I think he had over 300 yards. So yeah, he played well, man. And I'm just hoping, Hurt, that, and maybe you can kind of help me decipher this, but I'm trying to determine if Maryland has a good level of athlete that's going to be able to hang with the athletes of the Big Ten. I don't know how to grade West Virginia's, athletes on their team. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, well, West Virginia usually has a good program. I mean, not saying that they're not going to have a rebound from this. It's the first game of the season. So West Virginia is basically the whole state that comes to that school. So, you know what I mean? And they get some kids out of I got accepted to West Virginia. So, so anybody can get in, I guess. That's the way I look at it. But either way, they have good athletes. Maryland, from what I saw yesterday, the big difference is if they had turnovers against Ohio State, those are points. That's the big difference between the small teams and the big teams, is that or teams that just don't. Ohio State will make you pay. Other teams, in the Big Ten that are good will make you pay off those turnovers. So that's the difference between them. But I think just from the first game I saw, if they cut that down, they could be good enough to have a winning record, be the bowl game. They're not winning divisions or anything, but at least because the Big Ten, Iowa is good, Indiana's good. Of course, we always have Ohio State. Michigan's always a question mark to me because who knows? Minnesota, it has always a competitive team. So does Northwestern. So I don't know Maryland's schedule, but it can beat the Illinois has a new coach. What's his name? He's coached everywhere. He used to coach in Arkansas. He used to coach at Wisconsin. I can't remember Wisconsin. I can't remember his name, but they have a new coach. They won their first game. So, the Big Ten is the Big Ten. But if they play like this but get rid of the turnovers, they definitely could win. And then be good enough to make it to bowl game.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I just want them to at least make a bowl game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
So let me go over Maryland's schedule for you real quick. So next week they play Howard. The week after that, they play Illinois in Illinois.
God, I would love to have gone to that game.
What, the Howard
Maryland
game?
Howard.
I went to a Maryland Howard game about maybe 7 years ago. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, dude. I went to a Towson Howard game when I was at Towson.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it's better than playing Morgan. That's all I can say. No disrespect to Morgan, who we beat 31-0 yesterday, by the way.
Oh,
But
okay.
Yeah, it's a whole different world now, and it was a road game.
Yes.
So we played at Howard.
Oh,
So
all right.
Yeah, it was a really, really, really great game. Now, I'm not sure if we won or not, but it was a great game.
I got
That's all I can say. Yeah, okay, so Howard, that's a win. Go ahead.
All right, so we got Howard, Illinois at Illinois. Kent State is coming to Maryland after that. Okay. Then coming to Maryland is Iowa. Then we go to Ohio State. Then we go to Minnesota. Indiana comes to Maryland. Penn State comes to Maryland. Maryland goes to Michigan State. Michigan comes to Maryland, and Maryland goes to Rutgers. This is going to be tough.
Good gosh, dude. Wow, just all those games in a row, and all those teams are basically ranked. Indiana's ranked, Iowa's ranked, Ohio State's ranked, Penn State's ranked. But I think they could pull a couple upsets in there. So, but that's not an easy schedule, as they say in England. It's not an easy schedule.
Yeah, even Rutgers is going to be tough, man.
But you know what? The thing is, I'm really excited about college football, so I'll definitely watch it. Because last year, I really missed everything. Yeah. So, and we'll talk about this in this next segment, since we know the fans are back in full force. Even though tailgating is still kind of weird, everybody's wearing masks and barbecuing at the same time, but whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed it. I watched everything, even teams that I hate watching. I miss that interaction. I don't like Virginia. As a Florida State fan, I can't stand Virginia Tech. Right. But when they played Enter Sandman and all those people jumping, I was jumping. Now, I don't know if you saw the video to that. I had to show my wife, and she was like, "Oh, those people." I was like, "Oh, those people." But they're just going crazy. I was telling them college football here is the closest thing to soccer at other places, and that's why I love both college football and soccer, because college football has the little towns each have almost a club, so to speak. Even though Maryland is the biggest school in the state, Towson has its own school. Morgan has it, so it's like almost a little college, local, and that's how they have in England. You have your little local, soccer club, and so there's bigger soccer clubs. Like Maryland's the biggest Division I school here, and then Navy's in Division I as well, and then there's Towson's, Morgan's, and all that other stuff. But that's your thing. I think people are more passionate about their college because they went there for the most part. Or they grew up in that area, and they always got close to that school or rooted for that school. So I decided to tell them that's the closest thing to soccer to us is college football. So just seeing all those people watching the games yesterday, I swear I was watching every game that I could. I had a family over, and none of them watched college football. But I was just still trying to get in as much game time as possible, man. So I'll be watching everything. I'm probably watching Big Ten. I never watched the Big Ten Network because Big Ten is boring as I don't know what. But I'm going to watch it this year. I'm watching every type of. I'll watch Northwestern Illinois. I don't care. Well, actually, they play for a trophy, so I will watch it. But still, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. It's so cool.
Real quick, how did Florida State do last night?
Well, we played tonight.
Oh, I thought it was last night. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No. Yeah, we played Notre Dame.
Okay. Did you like the result from the Alabama game yesterday?
Well, of course. I mean, Miami got blown out. So, but I knew that was going to happen. I actually got a phone call from while they were away. They were visiting family and driving back, and they didn't really see the score too much. But they knew they're getting blown out. And it was like, it's not fair. They're playing, Alabama. They're like, there needs to be, I don't know, talking about having like a salary cap for Alabama or something. Because I was like, everything's cyclical when it comes to college football. The 80s, 90s, Miami, Florida State were two of the dominant teams. And then, Ohio State's coming up. And just in the last decade or so, it was Alabama. But look who they have as coach. And it's a factory. And Clemson. It's a factory of guys. And then you have a dynamic head coach who can recruit. And then you talk people who would start at any other college to come in and sit behind someone else because it's a factory. And once you start the factory, everybody keeps like Florida State, everybody just kept coming. Miami, everybody just kept coming. Florida, everybody just kept year after year after year. You have the best players coming there because they know I'm going to go to the NFL. If you go to Alabama, you're going to the NFL. Even if you don't play your first 2 seasons or you're the second option, you're going. You're feeding number 2 or 3 wide receiver on the team. You're going to be going to the NFL. If you're on Ohio State, you're going to the NFL. If you're on Clemson, you're going to the NFL. If you're on Florida State, nowadays it wasn't like that. But they could start doing that. You know what I mean? They had to recruit. They have I do like Norvell. We have to start winning bigger games again. We have to start beating our in-state rivals. We have to eventually get closer to Clemson. That's what happened. We used to blow Clemson was going to Clemson for us back in the day was like going to the store. Let's just go there, get our groceries, and leave. Okay. That's it. That's all it was. Then Clemson just started getting better. They were still, even though they were ranked in the top 10, they weren't where we were. Then this guy comes in, he starts, recruiting a little bit better. Because remember, they started with the Taj Boyds, and then they went from the Taj Boyds to
Deshaun.
Who's the guy in the NFL now? To Deshaun, and then from Deshaun to Sunshine, who's the number 1 draft pick. So that's what happened. You go, and these guys stay 2 to 3 to 4 years. Once you have the stability of that quarterback, you go. We had the Charlie Wards, the Winkies, Brad Johnsons, Danny Cannells. We had guys. Manuel. The other guy. Can't remember his name. He did play for Minnesota for a little bit, but those guys weren't great, but they were good enough in college, and all the way up into we haven't had anybody since Jameis left. So Jameis is gone. It's been this void, so we haven't won anything.
Yeah,
even in Jameis's last game, we made the playoffs. We just lost to Oregon, so we were actually in the play. And after that, it's just been up and down, up and down, up and down. So. So everything's so cyclical. It's just, certain programs stay in the middle, certain programs drop, and some can come back. And you just got to see if they can come back. So Miami will. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, so you know what this means, right? If it's all cyclical, then the Terps are coming up the top of the circle.
No, it's cyclical for teams who were at the top, not.
Okay.
So Maryland, it's like you kind of like your top is at the middle. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, we won a championship in 1953, man.
You know what? Someone had a sign yesterday at game day. It was a Clemson fan. I'm sorry. It was. I just you said that. I just remembered it. So they had a social distancing sign. And they put up the college football trophy in Georgia and put 40 years in between because it's been 40 years. He said the real social distancing. I was like, oh my God.
That is tight. That's tight.
I miss those signs. So I miss those signs. I miss watching game day. I didn't really miss the guy who dumped a whole bunch of mayonnaise on himself. That was a little bit extra. But So, but I was thinking, like, if Maryland was doing really great and Brian was at a college game day and they were at College Park, I was like, Brian would dive into a bag of oatmeal. That's all I kept thinking.
Yes.
Like if they had some oatmeal, whether it was dry or not,
yes, I absolutely would.
Because you're excited about the Lucky Charms oatmeal, which we still had to have a conversation about because I didn't appreciate that at all. All right. But yeah, speaking of which, like I said, there's no social distancing. The crowds are back. I don't know. Again, I don't know the protocols there. And we'll talk about the U.S. Open a little bit. Those were full arenas, but I believe in New York City, you have to show that you're vaccinated in order to get into those events. So, but I'm not sure how it is in Blacksburg or any of these college towns.
I think they just were open. People weren't. Yeah. It wasn't even the crowd, Joe. It was the lack of people wearing masks too that kind of shocked me.
Yeah,
I guess people just. I don't know. They don't have no. I don't know. What do you think it is? Like, because my thing is, if you're going to go out to a crowd, right? Now it was outdoors, which would make me feel better. But even still, I'm trying to protect myself. And full disclosure, I was going to go to Detroit, right? To see the Ravens. I canceled, yo, because it's an indoor stadium. I was like, if I'm outdoors, I would feel a little bit better. I'm away in my mask or whatever. But in a dome stadium, 60,000 people. With this Delta, I don't feel comfortable, man.
Yeah. So I was like, well, you got to think it's Detroit, so they definitely have social distancing between the seats. So, so you wouldn't even have to worry about it. You wouldn't be sitting next to anybody anyway, except for whoever went with you. So you have to be fine there. I know it's indoor, but believe me, you'd be like, "Oh, cool." You can just stretch out there. But no, I see. But this is my whole thing, and maybe I'm just crazy. But if you're going to go to an event where you're arm in arm with people, basically, you know how college stadiums are, what's the point anyway? And I think that's probably what they're thinking. I'm just not going to those things because I want to protect myself.
Oh, okay.
But if you're going there, what is the mask going to do when you're literally breathing on somebody anyway? I'm literally, people are right here, and you're just there, and someone's in front of you, and someone's behind you. Someone's gonna spill their beer on you anyway. It's just
and there's constant cheering, and there's constant cheering and stuff. You know what I mean? So it's not like
it's not like you're sitting down. Now, if it was like the U.S. Open, say the U.S. Open, even though, like I said, I believe they do have some protocols there. But you're sitting down, you're cheering, and you're it's not like college football where you're up dancing, cheering, running around, hugging everybody. Then you might as well. I'm just not going to those situations. Now I miss it. I do. I miss it a lot. But it's and hopefully we're getting to a point where I can go back to a wrestling event or something like that. Because I don't want AEW. If AEW is coming to the Baltimore, DC area, I'm going to lose my mind if I can't go. So I'm hoping they wait till next year to come here. Because they're going to be in Queens. They're going to be in Queens in a couple of weeks. And I'm like, oh, God, how great would it go to that show, back at home?
Yeah.
But I'm like, I can't. I just can't do it. I don't think I've been in an indoor. I haven't sat down and been in indoor anything to watch anything since all this happened. So, like I said, I know there's a special events and stuff. People have, weddings and things that you go to that you take precautions on. I mean, stuff that you're sitting there for hours around people who don't care.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit different.
Man. Just to end it off, it was good to see your fans back. I was just shocked by not so much the amount, but just the lack of protection. But like you said, I guess they're thinking, what's the point anyway? So, but you know what? You just talking right there made me think about something we totally forgot. And I want to get your thoughts on this. I really want to get your thoughts on this. What did you think of the BMW Championship here in Baltimore?
Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up. Well, I'm angry about it because I knew what was coming and I wanted us to go. I really did, because how many times we get a major championship here in Maryland and they had coverage on it, and how many times we get to go to a golf tournament anyway. And we both respect golf. I mean, I know there's no Tiger, but to me it just would have been cool just to go out there and just have the experience of being at something like that.
Absolutely.
So I'm kind of, and the thing that I feel, what's the word I'm looking for? It was great too. It had a good finish. It was exciting. It had all the top players there.
Yeah, dude.
And it's like literally like near my house. I mean, I really could, because taking it back way to Owings Mills from my house, I'm like right there. Like I pass it all the time. So,
okay. Yeah, it's weird. I had no idea where Caves Valley was, man.
Yeah, it's in Owings Mills, but it's like in the back. It's taking it back way to Owings Mills up. It's right there. It's not far. It's really not far. It's like 10 minutes away.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So this in my head, I was thinking like, well, I wonder where they're staying. I wonder where they're. I was like, what hotel could they be at? I don't think I'm gonna go watch, but it's just the logistics of it. Like when we used to have Grand Prix here, and I just want to promote anything that comes here. Because I wanted to come back again. I missed the Grand Prix. I miss having big events here because there's not enough big events that happen in the state.
Yeah, that was cool. Remember we went to that joint and seeing those.
Oh God, I loved it.
Fly down,
yes, downtown Baltimore.
I can't believe this is Baltimore, man.
And loud as I don't know what, but man, it was exciting.
It was so cool, man.
And we took the kids. Sophie had a little flag in her hand. Yeah. I mean, that was so freaking great, man. It was so great.
That was so cool. But you're right. That's cool having stuff here. And it was cool just sitting there on TV like, wow, that's Baltimore. And seeing like Rory being interviewed and DeChambeau. Yo, I was like, yo, they are here. Like, this is amazing. Like, these top golf stars are here in Baltimore.
And WBAL was like having special coverage, like their 7:30 show was talking about and it was live. And just seeing that it's right here, man, I really wanted to go. I hope they have another event here. Hope it's not because it's been like 50 years. Like 49 years or something like that since they had a big golfing event here. So I'm hoping they were impressed enough to bring in another. I don't care what it is. Like you said, all the top players in the world. Phil was here. So all the top players in the world were here.
Hold on, Hurt. Just real quick. We have a couple comments from Center Half Bench here. He says, "Hey guys, just found your podcast on a search podcast on Me Search. What are you guys talking about?"
Oh, wow. Well, we're talking about the BMW Championship, which happened here at golf here in Maryland, or not too far away from me. And of course, you caught us at a weird time as the studio is being renovated currently. So I'm outside the studio. So, but it's definitely probably the number one sports podcast in this part of Maryland.
Definitely, because we were just trying to give a rundown of the events in sports the past week, but we're also going to give a little talk about some other things like in the world of entertainment. So
thank you for stopping by, man. Appreciate it.
Yep. But no, it was just. No, I was just going to say it was just cool having an event like that here in Baltimore, with all these top golfers here, and it was a great finish. A 6-hole playoff, man.
A playoff, which Cantley won.
Yeah,
over your boy DeChambeau, your favorite player. And but you gotta think Rory McIlroy was fourth. It was just that these big names were here. Sergio, Dustin Johnson. It's just cool. Just they were right down the road. So I know that. I know again, COVID and everything just made me a little bit skittish, so to speak, for good reason, of course. But I definitely want to. If it happens again, if there's something comes back next year, I'm definitely going. I'm basically next year. I'm going to every event known to man as long as it's safe. Because home, I don't care. I don't care what it is at this point. Like I said, the crazy thing is, on the 18th, Towson plays the Bison of North Dakota State.
I didn't realize they were coming here.
Yeah, dude, why do you think I was so excited?
Yeah, I didn't connect it. That's pretty cool.
I could tell because no one had the reaction I had. They were playing the Bison. The Bison, like the 98-time defending champion of the football playoff subdivision. Carson Wentz, your boy Trey Lance.
They're going to be in the audience. They're coming to the game.
It's just. Yeah, going to Johnny U Stadium, to see the Bison take on the Tigers, man. Listen, and I'm just so upset that I'm like, man, this would be the year, or we play like this is a huge game, and we're playing with the biggest probably program in our division. So it's like if Alabama came and played Maryland. It's big. It's basically what it is.
Yeah.
So it's So hopefully, we do well. I want to be at the game. I hope it's on TV somewhere.
It's got to be.
I really want to watch it.
That's got to be on TV.
But go ahead.
I just want to get your final thoughts on this Caves Valley event. Have you heard anything as far as was the PGA happy with the event? The score seemed really, really low. Were the scores too low, or was it just like perfect time with the weather? Because with the weather, it was real humid. I think you know, it was raining some days, but it was also humid. So I think it softened up the course a little bit in the greens. So I didn't know if
well, I heard they really the feedback I heard is that they really were loving the course and how it was laid out and how it was played. Like it only rained that one day. There was like a thunderstorm that came in, but most of it was like a really humid week. It was really humid, like really, really, really humid. But it was only that one rainstorm. But they said that everybody that played the course enjoyed it.
Okay.
So that was exciting to me. So yeah, I definitely want to do more research on it, but I definitely hope they come back because Caves Valley is one of the best golf courses that we have in the state. So I'm hoping they come back and have another and just make this a routine thing. Maybe if it's not the BMW championship, but something else. Just attract this many top players.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man, that was good to see, man. Hope they come back. All right, man. Let's see where we're gonna go. Let's talk about this U.S. Open. You mentioned to me that, first of all, I can't believe that I didn't realize the U.S. Open was going on, but apparently some things went down this week. So, Hurt, just what's up? What's up with the U.S. Open, man? What's going on?
Well, the feeling, I definitely need to enlighten you. So, first thing is, Serena and Venus were not at the U.S. Open. They withdrew way before because Serena still getting healthy from her hamstring injury this year at Wimbledon. And Venus, I forgot what her injury is, but she's also injured. So they weren't there. And it was like the first time those two weren't there for, it was like sometime in 2000, like 2008 or something like that. And Rafael Nadal and Federer were both hurt, so they weren't there as well. So the highest ranked player there was, Djokovic for the guys. The highest ranked woman, actually, highest ranked American at the tournament was Coco Gauff, who was ranked, I think she's ranked like 17 now. She's had a really good year. She did lose in the second round to Sloane Stephens, who went on, who's a former U.S. champion, a U.S. Open champion. So it's been an interesting draw. It's been some exciting tennis, and it's been some controversial tennis as well. So so going to Naomi Osaka, she was ranked third coming in. She won her first round game. Now, as we know, she's taken a lot of the year off, and due to mental health reasons and just exhaustion, she didn't win the gold medal in Japan. I believe she came in maybe fourth. So she didn't win. So that was a lot of pressure also there. And also she lit the flame, in Japan. So there's a lot of pressure she put on herself there. So she came to the U.S. Open without having a lot of matches underneath her belt. So she won her first round game. And her second round game, she faced a young lefty from Canada. And she won the first set. And she lost the second set, but she was getting booed. Naomi was getting booed. She was getting booed. She's getting booed because, and they're in New York, but New York loves her.
Yeah, because her first major win was against Serena at the U.S. Open, right?
Yeah, when Serena was having that kind of, not saying she was having a meltdown, but she was angry at line judges and
right. But that was the U.S. Open, what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, and that was the final. So Naomi was having a meltdown, and I was sitting there in shock because I've never seen her really lose her cool.
Oh,
but yeah, she missed a point. She slammed her racket, and she picked it up, and everybody was just like, "What's going on?" Everybody was just kind of like in shock, like, "Okay." So then a couple points later, she missed a shot, and she slammed her racket again. And at this point, the referee didn't give her a warning yet. She just kind of looked at her because I think everybody was just in shock. I was in shock. Everybody was in shock. I was like, "What is going on?" And everybody, the commentary was like, "What is going on?" Like and you could tell she wasn't doing her normal things. Like she was just off. She was just off. So later on the set, she was serving. She double faulted to lose the point, and she took the ball and just hit it up into the stands. And there she got a warning from the judge, and everybody was really booing her at that point. But they were cheering her on as well for her just to play better. Because they didn't want to see her like this, of course. And I was in shock as well. I was like, what is going on? So the third set, she kind of got it together more. Okay. But she still wasn't the same player, and she ended up losing. So she lost in 3 sets, so she was out of the tournament. And she had a press conference afterwards. Of course, they asked all the questions. And she broke down there and just like, I just need to take some time off of tennis. So, but I've never seen her like that. Again, watching Serena's career, I've seen Serena do this all the time, but she gets herself together and plays tennis. I've never seen Naomi like this, and it was I wouldn't use the term heartbreaking, but it was just like, oh man, I've never seen her just lose it like that. Where she's slamming rackets and throwing stuff, and it was just a whole different person.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So if you saw this, why I was like, if you saw the video, you'd be like, who is this out here? Yeah. Like, who is this person out here? So
she's having a rough year. Before you said what she had said at the press conference, it just sounds like she just needs to get away, man. Just, you know what I mean? Just get away, take care of yourself, get in the right headspace. I'm sorry to hear that. But it just sounds like she's having a rough year this year. So I'm glad she's going to take the time, do what she needs to do, take care of herself. But that's unfortunate.
Because it's not, that wasn't like her. It's not something that she does. So just seeing that happen and live, I was just like, what is going on? I was just looking at my wife like, and we're looking at each other like, what's going on? I was like, I've never seen her. I watch tennis all the time.
Right.
Never seen her react badly to anything. She may get frustrated at herself, but she was just visibly upset. So, wow. But that was the US Open. But some still Americans upset. An American last night beat the number 1 ranked player in the world, Ash Barty from Australia. So we have some young Americans moving ahead. Franklin I'm butcher his name, Tiafo. Sorry, Franklin Tiafo beat the number 5 player in the world, and he plays again tonight. So we do have some Americans that are doing well, so it keeps the tournament fun. So,
okay.
And as you know, of course, the tournament's in the best city in the world.
Of course, so right?
Yes.
Flushing Meadows, right?
Yeah. Well, Queens is a city, but yes, Flushing Meadows is the area. Yes.
So with all the injuries and all the upsets, who's on track to actually win this thing on both sides, men and women?
On the women's side is a toss-up. The number 1's gone. Like I said, no Serena, no Venus, no Naomi. So number 1's gone, number 3's gone. I have no idea who number 2 is. I don't know if she's there or not. It might be Azarenka. So I guess she'd probably be the favorite at this point. And on the men is Djokovic, because there's no one there to stop Djokovic from winning his 21st and the calendar Grand Slam. So he wins this one. He won all the calendar Grand Slams. Now he was on track to win the Golden Slam earlier, but he didn't win the gold medal at the Olympics. So now he can get the calendar Slam. So Golden Slam is winning all 4 majors and the gold medal. Yeah. Wow. So, since he didn't win the gold medal, he's still on track for the calendar. So Djokovic is definitely the favorite for guys, especially no Nadal, no Federer. So, and the number 5 player is gone now. I think a bunch of seeded players are gone. So there's really nothing stopping
him. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's go to basketball real quick. Okay. Because maybe you can explain this to me. All right. Simple question here. What's up with the Lakers? That's all I want to ask you. I don't call them the Lakers anymore. I call them the Expendables, because I feel like they're playing fantasy basketball with all-stars from like 5 to 7 years ago. You know, they didn't picked up Westbrook. They didn't. Now they're talking about getting DeAndre Jordan and Rajon Rondo. I actually like Rondo. I actually like that one.
Oh yeah, because Rondo was there, and he would be a good, definitely backup point guard. And DeAndre's just he come in, get some rebounds. He's like a better free throw shooting Dwight Howard, basically.
But wait a minute, let's take an inventory of who they signed and who they picked up this offseason. I know I'm missing people, but it's like the 30 and over club because they picked up Dwight Howard again.
They picked up Dwight Howard again.
They picked up Dwight Howard again, who's got to be 33. He's still just
not to be mean, but he's still just Dwight Howard. So it doesn't matter what age he is. He's right. But I know what you're saying.
Right. Well, I'm just making a point that look, the average age of their team has to be like 32 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's definitely up there.
I mean, Anthony Davis is still in his 20s, which is great. But when you're talking about Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, he's 36. Russ, he's 32, 33. Rondo, he's up there.
Rondo has looked the same now since he came into the league. Like he still looks like the same dude.
Very true. So they keep, they keep acquiring talent, but it's older talent. In basketball, it's a young man's league. Are the Lakers going to be okay? Are they going to be contenders with when the average age of your roster is like 32, 33 years old?
Well, you're always going to be a contender if you have LeBron on the team. But no matter who they signed, unless it was a KD or some other, a Kawhi or some other player, they're not going to get past the Clippers or Phoenix or something like that in my mind, unless they play perfect basketball. And the Nets are doing the same thing. The Nets are, adding Marcus Aldridge has come out of retirement after he was there to go back to the Nets. I think someone else was just added to the Nets as well. So that's the biggest difference, though. Like the Nets still have that core as long as they're healthy between with KD, with Harden, and man, I always forget Kyrie. With all those people there, if they're healthy, that team, no matter what else they have, makes that team better. The Lakers is health. If LeBron James is playing at his level, the Lakers are always going to be a contender. I still don't know or think that they can get past all the other teams. I mean, the West is loaded. So even if you play, and just think about it, if you make the playoffs, you still got to get past a Utah, a Denver, a Dallas, a Phoenix, a Clippers, and I'm missing somebody, I'm sure. I said Phoenix already, I think. They're like a 4th or 5th place team. No matter what. Quick, I know it's just about getting to the playoffs, but.
Hey, Hurt, real quick, I just want to acknowledge a couple of comments. Big thanks to Jordan Beecroft out there, giving Kevin the shout out. You should be on ESPN.
I appreciate that. Maybe somebody can pay me.
There you go. You go head to head with Sean Barkley and beat him. There you go, Hurt.
Listen, I definitely appreciate the love, and hey, if they're listening, I got. But it's a duo though. I ain't going by myself.
And also, Center Half Bench, thanks for for subscribing. Got to say, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan though. What are your Raven predictions for the upcoming season? All right, so I just want to address this real quick.
We got to get into football. We got to talk about your team.
Yeah, thanks for
because you were talking about Lamar anyway, right? So
yeah, I got to mention some things about Lamar, but thanks a lot for the question on Center Half Bench. I am a diehard Ravens fan, but I got to honestly say, Cleveland is the Browns are the best team on paper in the AFC North. As long as your team can stay healthy, I think they're going to win. I do think they're going to win the division. I'm going to backtrack a little bit. However, I will say I think people are sleeping on the Steelers. I think I'm hearing so many comments about people saying, "Oh, the Steelers are going down this year. They don't have any offensive line. Ben's too old. He faded in the second half of the season last year." I don't care. They're still the Steelers. Mike Tomlin always gets his team up to play. I don't care who they have on the team. Heck, a couple of years ago, they were doing it. They went 8-8 with Duck Dodges and Mason, Rudolph Mason on the team, and they still went 8-8. So I never count the Steelers out. As much as I hate the Steelers, you know me, Hurt. I can't stand the Steelers. I never count them out. Nope. And I think it's going to be a three-team race in the AFC North. It's going to be the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Browns fighting for the division. And honestly, I hate to say this, the Ravens might be the worst of the three. The Ravens could easily be the best of the three, but it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. I think the AFC North is going to be the best division in football.
It's always the AFC North is always an exciting division because those teams don't like each other. No. And when you get teams that don't like each other at that kind of level, again, it's even when it goes to like Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, like it's just this level of disdain. It's always makes exciting football. Me not being a fan of anybody in that division, it's still fun to watch. Still fun to watch those games. It's still fun to watch those games. So, and of course, me usually rooting against your team. So it's fun to watch. It is fun to watch. So, but I think Cleveland again, like you said, on paper, I think they're going to have a really good season. I really do. I think they're going to have a good season.
Yeah, but let's just quickly break down Cleveland. I mean, look, they have one of the best offensive lines in the league, let alone the AFC North. So you're good there. You have the dual running back threat with Nick Chubb, who's a beast. Then, if you want to give him a little rest, you have your boy Kareem Hunt. So they got the best running back tandem in the division. Then,
definitely.
Look at their receivers. You got Odell Beckham coming back. You have Jarvis Landry, who was Mr. Reliable, Mr. 80 to 90 catch guy. You know what I'm saying? You got Peoples-Jones, who they're loving out there. And they have weapons and they're tight ends. They have Njoku. They have the guy they signed from Atlanta last year. I'm forgetting his name, but it's like they have weapons all across the board on offense. The defense is going to be the biggest question. Now they made some pickups in the offseason to solidify their defense. They brought in the safety from the Rams. I'm forgetting his name. They brought in a defensive end played for Tennessee last year. Why am I forgetting his name? Good gracious. Austin Hooper. Yeah.
Hooper. Yeah.
Yeah, but why can't I think about the defensive end? Because I was thinking the Ravens were going to get him, but we got Justin Hooper instead. The guy that's hurt all the time. Good Lord. Number one draft pick.
Justin Houston, right?
No, for Cleveland. Center half bench, you know who I'm talking about.
No, I know.
I can't, for whatever reason, I can't.
Good. Yeah. Because I'm not good with defense.
Thank you, Jadeveon Clowney. Thank you. That's I don't know if I missed it. But anyway, yeah, so they just need to solidify their defense. But honestly, I think they're going to be the best. I think they could be the best team in the division. Now they're going to get a test early because I believe they start the season off with the Chiefs. I don't know if they're going to Kansas City or not, but so that's going to be the first test. But I mean, they gave Kansas City a run for their money last year in the playoffs, so we'll see. But it's going to be a great division. I can't wait for football, and I guess I'll just segue this into Lamar Jackson. So I wanted to mention him because I've told you I've been kind of not down on Lamar, but I haven't been as excited about football because, training camp started off with him getting COVID. He missed the 10 first days of training camp. And it's weird because when you have a quarterback who's not vaccinated, he can get this thing at any point in time and it could derail your season. So my biggest fear is that, hey, the Ravens will make the playoffs, so they'll be on the verge of making the playoffs. He gets COVID again, has to miss 10 days of the season, could miss a game, and that could derail the whole season. But the word on the street is my man did get vaccinated. So I'm now I'm excited.
And now you're excited. That's hilarious.
I know. But hey, honestly, that's how I feel. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, just to catch up on these comments, I didn't put these on screen, but yeah, hopefully the Browns could compete for a Super Bowl. We'll see. They'll definitely compete for a Super Bowl, but the problem with being in the AFC, now we have to go through Kansas City. And now we have upper covers like the Bills as well. So the AFC, you know, it's going to be tough because right when Tom Brady goes to the to the NFC, now we got to worry about Patrick Mahomes. Now we got to worry about Josh Allen. So, but it's all good, man. It's going to be fun in the AFC this year. But but getting back to Lamar, I feel a lot better now because I know, hey, if he were to get it again, you know, hey, at least he would only have to, you know, he would be back a lot sooner. But
definitely. But no. So, also a little programming note here, due to some technical issues, I may have to switch devices. Oh, so let everybody know if I drop off, I will be back. Just a little bit differently because I'm not thinking that this would needed to be powered up, even though it was 100% when I got here. I'm now at 9%.
All right, so, well, I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that for you real quick. I want you to talk a little bit about what went on with the Mets this week, because that was going to be my next question for you.
I don't think anybody wants to listen to it. No, I could, because believe me, I can rant about this.
A lot went on because basically I just want you to talk about that because I want to have a question to you about the Orioles and I want to get your honest opinion on something. So while you start that off, I'll be back in just a minute.
Cool. So the Mets. You gotta put me on the screen.
Can you put yourself on the screen?
I probably from this device. I don't think I can. You know, I'm not good with this sort of technical thing.
Okay.
But I can't. Yeah, I don't think. Just leave that here and do what you gotta do. Come back.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do this for right now.
All right, cool. Well, thanks. All right, everybody. Yes, that's. I'd rather you not see anyway. This is in the earlier days when we were just on audio. So the Mets, not everybody knows, introduction to the show. I'm from New York. I came down to Maryland, so I'm a huge Mets fan. And we started the season first place. Then DeGrom got hurt, and we just been sliding. I'm not sliding, like falling downhill quickly. So a lot of stuff was going on. We just had a 5-game winning streak to get back to 500. We did lose to the Nationals last night. It was part of a doubleheader, 4-3. So we're a game under 500 now. But during this little slide we've had, there's been some issues with Lindor and Baez. They were both injured during this whole period. But the issue with that is they obviously they don't understand how New York fans are. They haven't been producing. They haven't hit as well since they've got here. So of course we're going to boo when they get up there. So they started doing this thumbs down celebration when they got a hit or when they did something right. They would do like a thumbs down, which doesn't make any kind of sense. And then it was a jab at the fans. How are you jabbing at the fans with your little thumbs down celebration when you aren't doing what you're supposed to do? When you come over here and you're betting like 212, 215, 2 whatever, and the fans want better production from you, want you to actually come through, they're going to boo you. This is New York. And you're going to come down with, we're going to give you a thumbs down. Who are you? Like, no, who are you? Look, just who are you? I know maybe they didn't do that back in Cleveland. I'm sure they did in Chicago, but I'm not 100% sure. But to come over here and give a thumbs down to the fans, now you had to offer an apology. I don't want that apology. Why don't you go out and play better, which they actually have. But just go out. The way you play on the field is what the fans appreciate. Not this, we're so hurt, then we come down and do a thumbs down celebration. Just stop this. Believe me, I was heated. I was heated when they were coming with that garbage. So again, luckily that's over, and this is ridiculous. I'm making an adjustment here to my camera. People, hold on, trying to get a little bit of power, some juice into this device. See, it works. I believe we are plugged in. This may have saved the show, folks. at least from this standpoint. So thank you everybody for being patient. But it's frustrating when players want to sit there and make jabs at the people who help pay your salary and have a now again, no one's yelling obscenities at you. I do take offense to when fans go to that extra level of fandom and start talking about somebody's, mom, family, so on and so forth. But if you're just getting booed, just man up, please. Just man up and everything. So, and look, I'm talking about the Mets. The sun's coming out. I really appreciate sun coming out and everything. You're not out of breath, are you? You're right over?
I'm good, man.
Okay, good. So it's frustrating. It's really frustrating, and we're back where we were. One game under 500, but with Baez and Lindor again, they had the apology for what they were doing with that stupid celebration, and we're back to being who we were.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the story of the Mets. But go ahead.
Hold on. Let's see what Center Half Bench says.
Ooh.
Yeah, maybe that's why the Mets are losing more, because if you boo your own players, that's not going to help their self-confidence. In fact, it's just going to lower it and make them not play.
No, it's listen. And thank you very much. Again, everybody who's sharing and had the comments. This is New York. It's what we do. You're not playing well. Go out and play better. It's your job. We're not paying you $20 million or whatever to come over here and bat 212 with on base percentage lower than my grade point average. Do better. That's why it's pressure. In New York, there's pressure. It's a big market. And a lot of fan bases, besides, believe me, I mean, I'm sure if they played in Philly, they would have booed them. They probably start throwing stuff at them. So, but that's what happens. That's what happens. So they're playing better. They'll get the cheers. It's what happens when you don't perform the way you're supposed to.
Okay.
But you had a question about the Orioles?
Yeah. So real quick question, because we're running a little bit low on time. So the Orioles have been in the news a lot lately. There's been a lot of national media talking about the Orioles and the way they're doing their business. Basically, they don't like the way that the Orioles aren't trying to win. The Orioles have had top 5 picks, I think, in the last 3 drafts. We only have 42 wins this year. We had a 19-game losing streak that was snapped last week. We had another 15-game losing streak this year. But so basically, we have our GM came from Houston, and his philosophy is when we got here, it was in such dire straits. We got to start from scratch. We got to burn the house down and rebuild it up. Since he's been here, we have developed our minor leagues into the '1 minor league system in baseball, according to MLB Pipeline. That has never happened in the history of this club since like the 70s or whatever. Like, and we had no international presence, and we're currently building a baseball academy in the Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic.
DR.
Yeah. So they're doing things on the back end, as far as the baseball development stages, but they're just not spending a whole lot of money on the major league team. And they don't want to do so until they get competitive. Do you have an issue with this? People are pretty much saying they're tanking, they're not trying. Do you have an issue with the Orioles doing this?
No, because when you're a team, you have to figure out different ways to be competitive. And eventually in the future. Not saying that they had to be, they're not competitive currently. But I don't have an issue with it. Is it hard to watch and to go these losing streaks? Of course. I'm sure as a fan sitting there, it hurts to see your team lose for a whole month. So, but if you understand what they're trying to do, because this team it's been up and down, good or bad for a little bit. They've been competitive. They're in a tough division. Look at the division. They're in a division also. There's one team that buys everybody, right? Or 2 teams that buy everybody. And another team who homegrowns their players and somehow stays competitive, which happens to be Tampa Bay. They always have guys that they bring up out of nowhere who compete for them now and eventually had to end up usually selling them. But these guys come from their farm system. So why can't the Orioles be that same type of team? To bring guys up to the major league level to eventually compete. Tampa wasn't good when they first got there. Remember, when they first got there, in the expansion drafts, they had the Wade Boggs, they had the Fred McGriffs. They had the horrible uniforms and everything. Eventually, they got the Evan Longorias. They got on their pitching that they got from their system and became a competitive team all the time. So that's what you need to do. Same thing with Oakland. They're a smaller market. They bring guys up in the system. They'll sign free agents, but not for $1 billion. They'll have guys and they're somewhat competitive. The Orioles are going to be that way in a couple years. I have no issue with that. I would rather my team do that than sit here and let me pay, I don't know, Chris Davis $5 billion and just take up half the salary of the team and do nothing. So building your farm system up, and then eventually that farm system will pay off. And when you make trades, you can get top-notch players to go with the young guys that you have that you hold up to make the team even better. So I have no issues with that.
Yeah, I just don't like this. Seems like this national crusade against the Orioles. Like they're like the worst thing about baseball. When people tank in all sports, people rebuild their teams and organizations.
Do you want to be the Pirates? Did they think everybody should just be the Pirates? And remember, when was the last time the Pirates were good?
Exactly. Since what? Since Sid Bream was tagged out at home, or not tagged out, but evaded the slide.
Running around slowly.
Right. But nah, it's crazy. Real quick, man, we have a couple comments out here from Center Half Bench. Here's a quick question. How come Lindor peaked so early? It's like he has not been the same since 2017. Pretty similar to OBJ.
Yeah, that was the scary part of getting Lindor. Like you said, he definitely had better seasons in the past. And the Mets, being under new ownership, were trying to do something, I don't know, spend money a little bit differently than what we did before and trading to get Javi Baez. I think Lindor is going to be where he is. As long as he's not going to, I don't think he's ever going to be the same player he was in Cleveland. But as long as he's close to it, I think that's all we need. As long as we get help. Think about having Lindor and we don't have a healthy pitching staff. So if we have a healthy pitching staff, we wouldn't be in this situation to begin with, honestly. That would help us out. So getting DeGrom healthy, getting Syndergaard healthy, having Lindor and Baez, along with, the Polar Bear and all the other guys, Conforto, and if everybody was basically hitting and everybody's healthy, we'd be a whole different team. Lindor is just a piece. He doesn't need to be the guy, but he just needs to be at a piece. So as long as he's consistent, bats near 300, does his normal averages, we'd definitely be a good team. I don't think he's ever going to be like that MVP type guy. But as long as he's somewhat consistent, it'll make the team better.
Yeah. I'm a little disappointed by his season. He signed that big contract, but I think he'll bounce back.
I definitely think so. And sometimes it's hard, and it's hard to adjust to a new league, even though all these interleague games are every other week, it seems like. But also, it's honestly, it's way more pressure if we played in New York. People demand more from you.
Okay. All right. And we also have another comment by Gerald. Gerald, thanks for the comment. Just came from Central Half Bench. Great podcast, guys. I think you guys will get more views if the title was better. Appreciate the comment. Thanks for checking us in. Yeah, and thanks for your opinion. Appreciate that.
Even like the title, not the NY podcast title, but
because our podcast is NY to MD pod, is NY to MD.
Oh, that title. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, we appreciate it. Listen, we'll take everything and any kind of comment. We just appreciate you definitely just being on the podcast and just giving us your ideas. We definitely listen to what everybody has to say. So thank you very much.
No. All right, you know what?
All right, so we're drawing to a close here. So what are we doing real quick?
So, basically, here on the NY to MD podcast, we don't just talk sports. We talk about entertainment as well. We like to comment on movies, TV shows, that type of music, that type of thing. So right now, we've been talking about the What If series that came out on Disney Plus. We are Marvel fans here at the NY to MD podcast. We talked about WandaVision. We talked about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And we've
Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
What did I say? Captain Falcon? The Falcon.
No, you said the Falcon, but I Captain America.
Oh, okay.
So Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
All right. We just got
Loki.
We just got finished up Loki, and now we have What If, which this was a series I was highly anticipating. We've had 4 episodes of it now. We didn't get a chance to talk about it last week. So let's talk about episode 3 real quick of the What If series, man. And my question to you is what if all the Avengers were being murdered, man, one by one? Like, the episode was crazy. It was like a murder mystery episode of What If, man. And first of all, how'd you like the episode, and how did you like the reveal of the episode?
Yeah, I actually totally hated this episode.
Really? Why?
I was Hank Pym. I'm not trying to diss Hank Pym, but if this dude was, and again, I know he's being cold-blooded and calculated. I get that. But if this dude was this powerful, he probably would have been the leader of the Avengers or the leader of superheroes. Because this dude was literally easily, by the way, out here manipulating. And again, I know it's a different universe. All these Avengers from either killing each other or killing themselves or whatever you call it. Like, when it was revealed to be him, dude, the look on my face, I wish people would have saw it. I was like,
See, Hank Pym. You didn't like the reveal at all.
It was just, and then they went back and showed how he did it. Maybe I would have felt better if it was Ant-Man or something, if it was Scott doing it. But it was something about him being the guy going in there doing that to the Hulk and Thor, and he was angry because his daughter was murdered or killed in the line of duty. It just did not work for me at all. And maybe it's because that was the follow-up to a magnificent episode that they had a week before, and I get this garbage. I was not happy.
I thought it was great.
I was not happy at all.
The one thing I love about the What If series is that you could take these stories in directions that you really can't take with the movies. So you could take more chances. You could do more things. You could be a little dark.
Definitely.
You could kill the Avengers. You know what I'm saying? You can.
Yeah, but kill the Avengers with somebody important. Just kill the Avengers with Hank Pym.
But to me, his motivations made sense, and I just love it. And I love it. The second episode of the season was the best, but I love what they're doing. No,
it's good. And the one that they had.
This is from Dan.
The last one. The last one. Or by the way, did you know how to spell my name? How long have you known me?
Hold on. We have some more comments here. Let's see. Center half bench is the GOAT. Okay, thanks. All right, and let's see what else he has to say.
I know. Oh, see, it is tested. Okay, so that title, not the regular title. Well, believe me, no, but no, his. One thing I say, Brian does the titles for the show. His titles for the show are always spot on. But again, this again, we definitely love the conversation, so we appreciate it. But if you look back to the history of these titles, man, he's done a great job.
Yeah, so basically what happened this morning is we had some technical issues. This was supposed to be a test, but I forgot to change the title on live.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Now that's funny.
So thanks a lot for the input.
Yeah, we were supposed to be testing this new way, and we forgot to change.
Yeah, I forgot to change the title.
Yeah, like Hank is a villain. That's my point. Like, Hank, just come on. Like, I was really like, he looked like just imagine what's his name and Michael. Oh God, who's the actor?
It's good Lord, Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. Thank you. So it's like really looking at that old Michael Douglas who's angry. That's just nothing for me. I don't know. If it was Scott and something happened to Cassie, and he had to come back because he went away or something happened and he was angry, I I would be like, oh man, that's huge. Kind of like what this last episode was from that. But just which they're almost kind of like on the same line of losing somebody. So they're basically almost the same story. So I like last week's way better than the week before's. I just wasn't. That story did nothing for me.
Okay. All right. Well, that brings me to my next question for you. What if your grief destroyed the universe, Hurt?
Dude, I'm all for it. Not for it for the universe. Don't get me wrong, but I understand that. Like what he was going through, and then trying to do it over and over.
What's that?
Talking about Doctor Strange last one. I've been watching, and this is spoiler alert, but he going back it was such and having power to do so, having the power to do so. It's basically what Thanos did to get the last gem out of Vision's brain. Let me just review time. Let me redo this scenario. Every scenario he kept doing, it didn't work out. She kept dying. It was so good, man. It was so dark. It was so good and so understandable. And it's something that all of us could really, really put our heart into and really understand where he's coming from. Because I had sympathy for him. It wasn't like, oh, you're a villain. What's wrong with you? You're destroying the world. It's like, dude, I dude was hurt. Like, he was really hurt. And he just didn't care about what else he was really doing until it was too late.
Yeah. It was, once again, I like the fact that this was dark, that we saw Doctor Strange in a totally different light, because it was believable. You know what I mean? It was believable, and I just really like the direction they took. It was super dark. I like the fact that he couldn't change. I like the fact that was the constant. Her death was a constant. It couldn't be changed, and the repercussions of what happens if you try to constantly do it. And even when he thought he was successful, it still still didn't work out. But it's cool. I love this series. I love the series. Everything down from the animation style to the fact that they got the cast from the movies to do the voices. The stories.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have everybody, but just having Rachel McAdams and Benjamin Cumberbatch to do the voices again.
Yeah,
freaking awesome.
Yeah, and it was good to hear Chadwick's voice a couple episodes ago. It's just good, man. Have another comment here. Did y'all listen to Machine Gun Kelly? And please tell me you guys agree Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man. Okay. No,
I'm not sure what MGK. Yeah. No. I know, of course, I know who MGK is, but is Tobey the best Spider-Man? You know what? It's funny. The Dolphins had this debate. Remember the Dolphins?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the Dolphins had this debate. Well, I know. How about this? We know who the best Spider-Man isn't.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yes.
I think we'll all agree who would come in last in that argument.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield, you're gone.
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire is great. However, I'm really digging this Tom Holland Spider-Man. I won't say he's the best, but for me, he's my favorite out of the three. Now, granted, I haven't seen. Oh, go ahead.
Say again.
I was just gonna say I haven't seen Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 in a minute, but I really like this time because he's been in 5 Marvel movies now at least. Yeah, and I really like his take on Spider-Man, and I cannot wait to see No Way Home, man. Can't wait. To see
the way I like it. Yeah, the way I like is real quick. I'll make this straight before you go. Is I really like the fact that Spider-Man, kind of like Superman, has two totally separate people, separate characters. So I could say I may like Tobey better as Spider-Man, but Tom is a great Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he has Peter Parker down. Because that's what made that Far From Home so good, was he was really into that Peter Parker. Because at first I was like, why would Spider-Man just give the glasses over to, but Peter would. Like this Peter trusting somebody, just trying to live his life. Like, I'm young. And I don't think Tobey really gave me Peter. He gave me Spider-Man. But Tom gives me Peter. Like I really feel him as being that confused young teenage superhero guy, and it totally works for me.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I like Tom, but Tom, Tobey, just not Garfield.
All right. Dan, part 3, ruined Tobey as Spider-Man, dancing in the streets. Yeah, Spider-Man 3, man, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. It really does. It really does. Yeah. But I don't blame that on Tobey Maguire though. It's not the movie.
No, it's a script. But yeah,
he wasn't the reason the movie wasn't that good. You know what I mean? So, we gotta go, but real quick, I gotta give a really quick review. Since we're talking Marvel here, I did venture out yesterday, and I did see Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and it is getting great reviews from the critics. It's getting great reviews from the audiences, but it's not going to get one from me, Hurt. Man,
shocking,
dude. I was so awaiting this movie to come out. This was one of my highly anticipated movies. The first half of the movie.
Spoiler alert.
I know it's no spoiler alert, so I'm not giving out any spoilers.
Oh, okay, good.
The first half of the movie is great. It's great. The action scenes, the martial arts, the choreography, great. But somewhere along the way in the second half, it goes in a completely different direction that I didn't see coming, and I'm not going to spoil anything. But I'll just say this. It went from it has more of like a fantasy element to it that to me it went from kind of like superhero-ish to fantasy. And I just didn't like the blending of the two. And somewhere along the line, it kind of lost its way. But the first half is great. The second half, I didn't really think was that good. But I still would recommend it. But I'm just not. I knew this question was coming. I knew it. No origin story. I knew that was coming. No, it has an origin story, Dan. I just think the second half of the movie wasn't executed as well, and it kind of left me. Yeah, man. Thanks and a half for joining us, man. I'm glad you enjoyed the podcast, man. And we got to check you out as well, man. So thanks a lot, man. Appreciate that. But anyway, that's about it. That's about it for me, man.
Yeah, well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Of course, we're here live streaming on StreamYard and on YouTube. You can subscribe to us, NYMD Podcast. And of course, we're on our all social media on Facebook, IG, and the Twitter. Also, don't forget to order AEW's All Out tonight. I'm a wrestling fan. CM Punk's first match in 7 years is tonight. I know Dan's a WWE guy, so he won't be getting it, but the rest of you should. So All Out tonight, come live from Chicago. Darby Allin, CM Punk, going to be great. And also, you can find us on Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Everywhere you find podcasts, you will find the NY to MD podcast. So thank you, everybody, for all the comments, tuning in, and we'll see you shortly. Everybody have a great week. Have a good Labor Day weekend.
Yeah. Peace out. Have a good Labor Day.